Let me ask you a personal question. When it comes to watch collecting, what do you look for? Specifications, brand history, heritage, maybe uniqueness, maybe its design specifically, or maybe because that watch has a connection to you. Well, in this video, I have a watch which is not only cool and award-winning, but also has meaning to me as a person. Moving on, we have the CIGA Design's Blue Planet. Now this watch has a really special design, with the dial crafted with microcraving and anodic oxidation processes that reproduce the Earth in the same land to ocean ratio as our real big rock. It does have a lack of hands, instead accompanied by a navigational marker inspired by the ancient nautical chart that points to the outer static hour plate and the inner dynamic minute plate. The strap that comes with it is not only very nice quality, but is made of fluoro rubber, which is more durable, comfortable, and most importantly, is non-toxic to the environment. Specification wise, it's stainless steel, 46mm, which wears a lot smaller as there are no lugs, 15mm thick, has a very high quality fluorine rubber strap, and an in-house calibre with a -15 to +30 seconds a day accuracy. It also sports 30 meters of water resistance, so it's okay in rain or when washing your hands, and of course it has a double domed sapphire crystal, totaling a retail price of $999. Now there is also a titanium version produced, but as I have the stainless steel one on hand, I won't comment on that. And another thing to mention is there's only 365 of them made. So if you want to get one quickly. They are of course linked in the description down below. Another aspect of this which is really cool is actually the packaging, with an eco-friendly book-inspired design with the philosophy of safeguarding the planet and of course being recyclable. The way time is told is also incredibly interesting. I'll read you this from their website. For watches using traditional movements, the hour hand rotates 30 degrees when the minute hand rotates 360. To simulate how the Earth rotates and for optimal presentation of the dial, we innovated the movement inspired by the most ancient timer, the sundial. After almost 100 times of tests and research, we successfully changed the gear ratio of the movement to realise that the hour hand rotates 30 degrees when the minute hand rotates 390. In this way, the hour and minute hands rotate synchronously, which is a transformation of the traditional movement design. So what did I mean earlier by award-winning? Well, the Grand Prix Horologie de Genève, or the GPHG, co-founded by the City of Geneva and Canton of Geneva in 2001, has long been acclaimed the Oscars of the watchmaking industry. Since May 2011, the GPHG Foundation was a recognised public interest organisation whose mission is to pay tribute to outstanding international watchmakers. Many Chinese brands sign up for this event every year, but in 2019, CIGA Design was nominated for the GPHG Challenge Watch Prize with its single pointer series Earth. In 2021, CIGA Design became the only shortlisted Chinese watch brand again among the 84 nominated timepieces announced by the GPHG Academy. It competed for 14 reputable, authoritative and influential awards for global watchmakers alongside Piaget, Breitling, IWC Schaffhausen, Chanel, Chopard, Louis Vuitton and many other top brands, and was awarded the Challenge Watch Prize, becoming the first Chinese wristwatch brand in the winner list. Thus, CIGA Design became the only Chinese wristwatch brand winner throughout the history of the GPHG. It showcases the remarkable and unique brand philosophy by reinterpreting the traditional understanding of escapement from a multi-dimensional perspective and improving people's awareness of protecting the blue planet from the perspective of humanistic care. Moreover, it highly regards the transformation of the Chinese wristwatch industry from made in China to designed in China over the past 66 years. Additionally, this watch was officially held at the Museum of Art and History in Geneva, Switzerland in late June of 2022. Not only that, but it is the first Chinese watch brand to do so. Moving into the personal review, I'll go a little bit more in depth about myself as a character and why this watch has meaning to me. Now, when I was 4 through to 16, I wanted to be something called a marine biologist. I loved nature, was fascinated by the ocean, still am fascinated by the ocean, but when I got to the age of 16 and I actually needed to start looking into things, and I became a bit more mature and realised, money's something you need, work-life balance is something you need, I found the work-life balance for marine biology is abhorrent, the pay is terrible, and you need to go on, 3-4 month voyages out in the ocean without going home, which doesn't suit me since I'm a bit of a homebody and I like being in my own general space. Thus, I decided to go into a different industry, my second passion, the watch industry. Now, this watch means a lot to me, not only because it's one of my first sponsors, not only because it's a watch that I find very interesting, cool and a statement piece, but also because it still has a link to the ocean, especially ocean conservation, which is what I wanted to go into in marine biology. So this watch merges my two biggest passions in life, which is why to me personally, it already gets the green light and gets a golden ticket. I think it's incredible. Moving on to the objective things, however, the finishing is very good, which isn't hard to do since all they needed to do was polish the entire circular case. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that the finishing is very good. The globe on the dial is incredibly done, and you can stare at it for hours. The strap is extremely comfortable, it feels very premium, and it suits the watch perfectly. Now, the way to tell time on it is very different to the usual watch, and I will say, legibility, low. It isn't incredibly legible. If you just quickly look down at your wrist and try to read the time, you're going to need to have your brain work a few seconds to actually know what the time is. However, that's absolutely fine. It's more fun, it's an interesting way to tell the time I haven't seen before. And even though I have many watches, and there's many watches in the world, this still gives something not only unique, but new and, I suppose you could say, fresh to the watch industry as a whole. I think that it is quite fun and quite nice to have a different way of telling the time that you actually have to think about and go a bit more in depth on. Overall, the watch is meaningful, award-winning for its extremely interesting and unique design, and spec-wise it's accurate enough and robust. Though the only issue is the low water resistance, as it's the sort of watch I'd love to wear in the water, but that's okay. It's a funky statement piece that is collectible, different, and fresh to the industry. It's a bit of fun, and it's an overall new experience on the wrist. It's also very nice to see how the workings work. As you can see here, when you turn the crown, you see the inner bezel, I suppose you could call that a chapter ring, moving, and I think that is really cool to watch. I've never seen a watch do that before. It's not as practical as most other watches, but it's not meant to be. It's unique, with a dial, movement and way of telling time I've not seen on a single other watch out there. It's fun to look at, it's fun to play with, and it's a statement piece to show your friends. If you care about ocean conservation, or you just want a unique and different timepiece, go in the description below and get yourself one of these, because they are pretty damn cool in my opinion.